So in the last video, we learned that when we have data in a standard normal curve, you can see our bell curve here, like this, our bell curve. We learned about our standard deviation, and about 68% of our data falls within one standard deviation of the mean, and you can see the mean is here in the middle. We had about 95% of our data falls within two standard deviations. So you can see from here to here comes out to about 95%. And three standard deviations was 99.7. Almost all of the data. Almost 100%, but not quite, 99.7. So now we're just going to do a few problems here, practicing our standard deviation. So it says, let's say we have the weights of 1,000 randomly selected kitty cats. And these weights are normally distributed. So we need that information to know that it's that bell curve. If the mean weight is 8 pounds and the standard deviation is 1.25 pounds, question 1 asks, what percentage of the kitties weigh within one standard deviation? So look back at our little bell curve, and it was this one right here. It was 68%. All it asks is what percent is within one standard deviation. So that's you just need to have that number memorized. You just need to know that one standard deviation is 68%. Okay. Number 2, it says what percentage of the data is within two standard deviations. So two standard deviations was down here. We said that was about 95% of the data. So about 95% of the kitty cats are within two standard deviations of the mean. And 3 says what percent, that's important, were within three standard deviations. That was our 99.7%. So we didn't need this, we didn't need this, we didn't need this. None of that was needed to know 1, 2, and 3. You just needed to know the percentages of your standard deviations. You need to have those memorized. Now when we get to numbers 4, 5, and 6, the question changes a little bit. It says, how many of the kitties weigh within one standard deviation? So get out your calculator, and we know that one standard deviation is approximately 68% of the data. So 68% is 0.68 as a decimal, times, now we need to know how many kitties there were. It says up here there were 1,000. So of the 1,000 kitties, 68% of them were within one standard deviation. So 0.68 times 1,000 gives us 680 kitties. Number 5 says how many were within two standard deviations. So two standard deviations was our 95%, so 0.95 times 1,000, we know is 950. And lastly, three standard deviations was 99.7, which is 0.997. So 99.7, you take the decimal, you move it 2 spots to the left, times 1,000 kitties is 997. Almost all of them are within three standard deviations. So make sure you know the difference between how many and what percent. Okay, that will come up here in a little bit. Okay, the next problem says we can use the normal distribution to determine how probable an event is. For an example, a normal distribution has a mean of 84. So stop right there, and let's label the middle 84. In the middle, we know that that is the mean or the average. Then from there, it says one standard deviation is 5. So they're telling you that every 5 numbers is another standard deviation. So our first standard deviation is 5 more than 84. So that gives us our 89. Our second deviation is 5 more than that. So that gives us 94. And lastly, our third deviation gives us 99. And then we can do the same thing in the other direction. So 1 deviation the other way, 2 deviations the other way, and 3 deviations would give us 79, 74, and 69. So you'll always set up your normal curve this way with the mean in the middle and your 3 standard deviations on either side. So now it asks us, what is the probability that a randomly selected x value, so these are all of our x values down here. These are all of our x values. What is the probability that it is between 74, which is right here, and 94? What is the probability, which is percent usually, or decimal? We realize that they're really just asking us what percent is within 2 standard deviations. As you can see, they're asking us 2 standard deviations out from the mean. So that's where you just need to have that memorized. 2 standard deviations is about 95%. That is the probability that one of those numbers will be selected. So once again, just like all the way back here, it's that same percentage that we learned from here. 2 standard deviations from here to here was about 95% chance, or 95% of the population. Okay, now we're going to go over those EOC questions that you saw on the practice EOC. So take a second, you can pause the video and go ahead and read this scenario. So now it asks us, what is the most likely reason for the difference between the student council's results and Chelsea's? So basically, the overall results said that mac and cheese was the most liked, but then Chelsea went back to her table and they seemed to all vote for Taco Tuesday. So she's wondering why there's such a big difference. So if you kind of read through the selections here, Chelsea's table is not a good estimation of the entire population of the school. So that is definitely bias. Also, they kind of hint towards it, but they talk about how if there's just a box open in the lunchroom, then people could, stuff it with as many as they want. So that's also not the best way to kind of pull the student body. So I would say A is the best answer here. Both survey methods were biased. They were not a true random sample. So a difference between the results is understandable. They didn't do a good job of sampling. So there's obviously a difference in results. Okay, number 25. Go ahead and pause, take a second, and read the scenario. All right, so you can see here, student A surveyed 25 of his family members and closest friends. That's probably going to be biased because, families think alike, friends think alike. That's why they're friends. So asking your friends about something is not going to be a true representation of the population. Student B divided the community into 5 equivalent sections and randomly surveyed. That's always a good word to hear in statistics. Randomly is a good thing. 5 households from each section. And then student C surveyed the first 25 people who walked into the local mall. So pretty obvious here that option B is the best, most reliable data, very close to a random sample, which is the answer to the next one here, random sample. There is no such thing as a normal sample, and there is no such thing as a carefully selected sample. Just because you carefully select something and spend a lot of time on it doesn't mean that it's a true, good random sample. So pretty much if you ever see the word random sample on the EOC, that's probably going to be the answer. That's the best way to collect data. The next one, number 13. A total of 150 students have taken the final exam. The scores are normally distributed with a mean of 71 and a standard deviation of 6. How many students would you expect to have scored between this many percent? And I would underline or circle how many students. That's a big deal. So I'm going to go ahead and create my normal curve. So you might have to do this on the EOC on your own. Here's the mean in the middle. And the mean, they tell us, is 71. And then we have 1 standard deviation, 2 and 3. 1, 2, and 3. And it tells us each standard deviation is 6%. So 71 plus 6 is going to be 77. And 71 minus 6 is 65. And at that point, you're probably realizing that's what they're asking us. How many are between these here, which we know that's 1 standard deviation from the mean. So we know that 1 standard deviation is about 68%. Now, a lot of people are going to be very tempted to circle B, but that is not correct. It's not asking me what percent, it's asking me how many students. I need a number of students, and there were 150 total. So this is where you need to get your calculator out and multiply 68% times the total number of students, which is actually 102. So the correct answer would be 102 students. Okay, the next one here. They give you a lot of information. They tell you there's this many players. The mean is 6'7". The standard deviation is this many inches. But none of that matters because all they're asking you is what is the approximate number that are within one standard deviation. So when you hear that, one standard deviation, you should automatically start thinking 68%. But once again, they're not asking you what percent of players or what is the probability of something happening. They're asking how many is 68%. So calculator, 0.68 times, it says there were 450 players. So the correct answer is 306. Oops, 306, there we go. And lastly, a city council is trying to pass a new proposition to increase funding for the local schools. They need 50% to pass it. Some people voted, and they found out that approximately 52% support. But they need 50% to pass it. And then they go on to tell you that there was actually a margin of error. Polling is not perfect. It's an approximation. So when they tell you there's a margin of error, there could be a swing either way from 52%. So if they polled and 52% supported it, well, what that's saying is up to 4% more could have actually supported it. So this could actually go to 56. We don't know. Or it could be as little as 48. Now we need 50% to pass. And now it asks us, should the city council, after doing this poll, strongly believe that this is going to pass, that it's going to be approved? So I would say no. In fact, this is rather concerning. With the margin of error, 4% below 52, that would not have passed with a 50% vote. So I would say the best answer here is no. The confidence interval includes values that are less than 50%. So it is not safe to assume for the city council to strongly believe that the new budget will be approved.